Hello, this is Cameron from MyFlightDirector, and today we're going to do a short lesson about crosswind landings. Crosswind landings can add a lot of drama to your videos, and when they're done well, it can add a lot to your shot. We're not going to go into all the technicalities of a crosswind landing, we're going to go over the two main types. There's the crab and the side slip. Simply put, the crab is what you most normally see with commercial aircraft and light aircraft, is where you see the aircraft coming down as if it's almost coming down sideways, and then just before it touches down it levels out and touches down. There is also the technique called the side slip, which is where you keep the aircraft's nose pointed exactly towards the runway, but you use opposite controls to keep it there. Now this isn't seen so much, but we're going to demonstrate both, and we're going to do it in a 777 and we're going to do it in a 172. First of all, we're going to look at the crab technique. Now this is the most commonly used technique in all forms of aviation, commercial and in light aircraft. It involves using no slip for the aircraft, so we're not forcing the nose of the aircraft to basically line up with the runway. This is what we do in the other technique that we're going to show later. This technique is the most sort of natural technique, because you don't have to use many cross controls. And what I mean by that is you have to use rudder and then opposite aileron to keep the aircraft straight, which seems a bit unnatural. With this technique, you simply look at the runway and make sure that the runway centerline comes in between your legs, and you just keep the aircraft by making small adjustments, by lowering and hiring. When you lower the wing into the wind, obviously you'll go one way and the other way just like normal, and you keep the aircraft coming straight all the way down, and then just before you touch down you have to transition from this crabbed moment to straighten up, because we don't really want to land the aircraft sideways, because this will put excessive load on the side of the gear. Obviously this isn't as that important in a 172, but in the 777 it's an awful lot of load, because it can weigh upwards of 200 tons at landing weight. You don't want 200 tons pushing on the sidewall of a tyre, that's quite dangerous. So we want to try and transition from this side to getting the nose straight, so now we're in a crab effectively, like the other technique, and then we touch down, or soon after. The other technique is where we crab all the way down, so we're at no point basically drifting the aircraft, we're keeping it straight, pointing at the runway by using opposite rudder. So we use the rudder to kick the nose around, and then because obviously when we kick the nose around it's going to want to go in that direction, we have to use aileron in the opposite direction to raise that and keep that, and it's quite awkward. It feels very awkward to do, and it is awkward in real life as well. And I haven't done many of these landings, and as you can see it's difficult to flare the aircraft because you've got cross controls and you need to flare, but of course you don't have to use the rudders as much, because you're already the nose of the aircraft is effectively pointing down the middle of the runway. This technique isn't used that much, but you can use it in videos when it may look a little bit odd, but it can be used. Thank you for watching this really quick tutorial on how to do crosswind landings. If you have any questions and comments, leave them in the section below, and I'll endeavour to get back to you as soon as I can. Once again, this was Cameron from MyFlightDirector. I hope you enjoyed this lesson.